Rainbow Dreams Educational Foundation presents the 22nd Annual Las Vegas Juneteenth Festival, Saturday, June 17th from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the Expo at World Market Center. Join us and celebrate Juneteenth Freedom Day as we welcome R&B diva 702 back to Sin City to perform their biggest hits. This event is free to the public. You heard us, free. For more information, visit us online at June19LV.com. That's June19LV.com. Powered by Zappos.
Keep your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. Hot 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7 on hot7025fm.com.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Cheryl Underwood, and you're tuned into the hottest news station on the planet, Hot 702.5.
Hi. Hey.
What's up? All your favorite artists.
Check it out. Say my name.
DJ Khaled.
This is Mila J.
Bruno Mars.
On hot7025fm.com.
The hunger.
And it's on like countdown. Donkey Kong. Hello.
Hello. Hey.
Okay. All right. Let's bring it in. Let's get it together. That's what I'm talking about. The other way. Get it together. So here it is. We back to Thursday. And it's another episode of Let's Get It Together.
Yes,
And
indeed.
the let's is gone. It's kind of hard to let that go. But do you know we are 1 year in this thing, so that's why it's kind of hard. I still be saying let's because it's a community thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it is Get It Together
Yes.
on Hot 702.5 FM with Jnine.
And Jezzi.
And then we are welcoming Miss Tay in the house.
Hey.
Nice. So, yeah, everybody get on in this thing. Yeah, talk real good, real loud, real clear,
Can
because the
y'all hear me?
listeners want a
Yes,
piece
ma'am.
of
All
it.
right. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, we hear you. I think you might want to bring it up just a taste.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, there we go.
You got to I know you want to show them lips and things. Everybody looking good, feeling good. How we feeling?
Feeling great.
I'm good.
All right, well, we start the show. We take breathers. We're going to take a moment to take a breather so we can just inhale and exhale and let all of the bullshit go. Just let it go. Let anything that is bothering you in this moment or ailing you, we're going to be sending out good vibes, positive energy.
Yes.
And in exchange, we're going to get it back. It's the
That's
boomerang
right.
effect.
There you go. I agree.
Yeah.
So, the restaurants have been conducting themselves very well. I did my due diligence again, and I went on and checked all the restaurant reports. Nothing but A's and B's. A's mainly. Let me be clear, because it matters, because A means you pretty much passed. I mean, you passed with no demerits. Mm-hmm. So everybody's been doing really good. The restaurants industry looks nice.
As they should. People are outside, so they're going to have to keep it up.
Right. Keep it up. Get it together. The one spot that I did find, it was called a Bangkok. I don't even like that name. Okay. Bangkok Orchard. They were closed on June 1st. 4662 East Sunset Road. Didn't say why, but obviously it was an imminent health hazard that the health department had to shut them down. It ain't even nothing we would be eating at. Black folks, if you eating at Bangkok Orchard.
What kind of food is it? Asian?
It's Asian. Anything Bangkok don't sound like where we need to be eating, especially with the topics we're going to be talking about today. Right? We need to be making better choices. And when places get shut down, it speaks volumes to their maintenance.
Hey, Mama.
Right?
Miss
Hey,
Irene.
Miss Irene. And all the listeners that are tuning in. So, here's the deal. Today, I want us to really dive into a little bit of this, what they're calling now, because they always keep coming up with these fancy, ridiculous names for poverty.
Right.
Right.
So
What was
now,
that word?
excuse me, y'all. give me a little hype. So now they're calling it food deserts.
Food deserts. What was the other one? Wasn't it something else
It
last year? Food
inequity
or something like that.
When I went to look it up, I seen food insecure households.
That was
and
the one.
food insecurity. Food insecurity. Boy.
Right.
Boy,
so now they're calling it food deserts. So I'm like, let me see what we talking about here. Because that doesn't quite make any sense to me. So basically it was coined in the 90s.
Okay.
Obviously it got no traction because I'd never heard of it. So basically it's areas with few or no health food options or supermarkets within a short walkable distance. Instead, it's filled with convenience stores, takeaway stores, and it's creating what they're calling these food swamps that have dire health consequences for the residents.
7-Elevens and them gas station food options.
Quick options.
Dollar stores.
Yep. Dollar Trees. Yep. Where people be buying, or is it the 99-cent store, which I guess closed down and now they're
$1.29.
Right.
Right. Right.
99 cents is non-existent.
No, I think that's out the window. Yeah, they went up to $1.25 and then shut their door, and now everything is a Dollar Tree.
And people are making those choices because that's all they have in a walkable distance. Now, if you can jump in your car, yeah, you can slide a mile or two.
Right.
But within a reasonable walking distance for people who either don't have transportation, limited transportation, they're basically surrounded by these types of unhealthy food choices. Thus, they are it's a increased risk of dying from obesity.
Yeah,
and obesity-related cancers like breast cancer, bowel, and liver cancers.
I can see
there's
that.
There's a direct connection. I mean, although cancer has its other elements, there's a direct response to obesity. Now, we're not talking about, you see, I think there's a difference. I never really looked it up, but this is just my personal opinion.
Okay.
That I feel like there's a difference, the difference between obesity and just being overweight or being fat, right? I mean, there's no other word for fat. I don't even like that word either, but that might be your body's constitute. Is big, you know what I'm saying? Doesn't mean that you're unhealthy. That's not the sign that you're unhealthy because you're
that is not
big
the
structure.
Sign. You're absolutely right about that.
But obesity seems to be more like it's more in the head in terms of the overeating and the instant eating. Obesity seems to have a different connotation. I don't know. That's just me.
I think it's more of a medical term because they have a chart. If you don't fall within that chart, you're now obese.
Or
and
extreme
you could be
obese.
Yeah, you can be obese or extreme obese. And I believe if it's that chart, that medical chart, Western medicine. Remember that.
Okay, well, before we even do that, you didn't really get the proper introduction.
I know.
Let me just say,
I know. She just dived right in.
And I would say, because I'm so comfortable, the room feels really good. The energy in here feels good. Everybody's looking good. The colors are vibrant. Everybody just looks wonderful. And I like that energy, which is why I love coming in studio. Because Icarice makes it that way as well. And then we bring the noise when we come. So, Tay, I want you to kind of introduce yourself to the listeners. Because I think you're going to be a regular staple.
Yes, I will. I'm Tay. And my mom, auntie, so we're all here as family.
Right.
So I just decided to come on and join in on the conversations, getting it together. And, you know, I guess you would say I'm my prime, in my 30s, so I'm somewhere in between.
Don't be telling the people my age.
Come on now, come on.
You know, I'm right in between.
Yeah, don't be telling the people my age.
I'm right in between the youngins and, you know, the elders, so giving a viewpoint of us all in the middle. But I'm just happy to be here.
Yep.
Join the team.
I know she's well traveled and she gets out. She loves to get out and eat and try new things. And I'm excited to hear all about your excursions and all of that. That's going to add a whole new element to this getting it together.
Yes,
for sure.
It's going to be a new element. I'm really excited because fresh is good, youth is good. You know, I don't despise what young people bring to the table at all.
Okay, that's an interesting word. Interesting verbiage.
It is a very interesting verbiage. It is. So, so pretty much there's been numerous studies that that are saying that the increased risk of dying from obesity-related cancers, that social factors largely determined by geography and public policies. Now, public policies are our politicians and people that we put in place, that we supposedly vote for.
Supposedly put in place. Supposedly.
Yeah, our vote counts.
Yeah.
Our vote counts. But these policies are netted deeply in racism.
Absolutely.
Because the white communities don't have these convenience stores popping up, and when they do, when the petitions go out for these stores to go up, they show up at the council meetings.
Yeah.
And they demand that Starbucks cannot come to our corner and 7-Eleven can't come to our corner. So
they absolutely
it's more to say that I voted when you know there's some devastation happening in your community.
Right.
You got to be able to say that I actually showed up when the policies were being created. And even if they didn't hear my voice, I did what I needed to do. Because the wealthy white neighborhoods in the United States contain 3 to 4 more supermarkets than poor black suburbs, which limits the choice of affordable fresh foods, especially if transportation is lacking. And they're calling those areas food swamps. So how do you go from a swamp, which is so opposite of a desert? So basically they're saying it's deserted of healthy choices and swamped with unhealthy choices.
Not surprised.
Nope.
I'm not surprised.
And it's not new. It's the same liquor store concept. It's the same, you know what I'm saying? It's the same billboards and advertisement for certain types of food. Same concept.
Right. I absolutely agree. Nothing has changed.
Right. So the food swamps, the definition, so to speak, is places where fast food joints and convenience stores outnumber farmers markets, grocery stores. There's barely any supermarkets within one. There's no supermarkets basically within 1 mile radius. So
They
food
be doing
deserts
our folks in,
and food swamps mainly exist in the South. They exist in any city in the United States because of geography, but mainly in the South, according to these studies.
Oh, well, they really don't like us down south. We should know. We all should know that down south. You go across the block in Georgia, go from Atlanta to one of those suburbs, you subject. Better get your ass back over to Atlanta.
And get your car.
Right?
You know, if you could afford it. Because you have to be able to get to the food. But if they are designing these supermarkets, and this is not a new design now, I'm not saying new stuff.
Yeah, this is nothing new.
It's probably fresh. Even harder now. You know, the
is.
statistics for these years are probably getting worse and worse. I read one that was from 2021 that says we are 3 times more likely to face hunger than white individuals. That was 2 years ago. Right. And now everything's higher, more expensive, so I can't even imagine what our numbers look like now.
Right.
It's sad.
Right. So the hard part about that is it's also where the chronic disease rates are the highest in the U.S. So there, listeners, there is a direct correlation, and we've been saying this for 1 year because our anniversary is 6/9, 1 year in this thing. We've been saying it for a long time that the key to rectify some of these diseases is healthy eating. We said that when we started, and it's still true now. And hey, Vicky, hey, Miss Tabloid, Mickey joined the conversation. So we're talking about food deserts and food swamps across America, and how it's directly correlated with obesity because of the overwhelmance of. Okay, Miss Tabloid, you was part of the conception. Happy anniversary, lady.
Thank you.
Right?
Thank you, Tab.
Because you can't. If you look at the 7-Elevens right now in our community,
right?
Just here in Las Vegas, they're every corner.
Yeah,
I didn't see that coming. I knew Starbucks had its place. I knew McDonald's had its place. I knew all these fast foods, Jack in the Box, and I can't understand why Arby's is still in business, but that bitch be
They
showing
are.
up too.
They sure do.
Somebody eating there.
Somebody
Right?
is eating there.
They eating that food.
But 7-Eleven did a takeover.
They haven't.
Yeah,
Have you been in them? They have upgraded too. They have a whole bunch of
That's right.
bad
Food.
foods.
That's
to
right.
eat.
I was
Nachos
saying
and
that last
chicken
week
and-
that they
Yeah.
foods
Choices.
choices
They
are
have-
extreme, but they're even in the nice areas. I've seen them pop up in Henderson.
They are.
in the nice areas too.
I guess
So,
everybody votes for a 7-Eleven.
Yeah, because I've seen them in the nice
And,
areas.
and I ain't mad at some of the things that I find when I go into 7-Eleven, right? But it's when you start doing that in an abundance because you feel like you don't have any other options.
Access. And,
Right.
Yeah.
Because you can still go to 7-Eleven and they still have fruit. I don't know what kind of fruit, but I see oranges and I see apples.
yeah,
I
and
see,
bananas and stuff like that. I do too.
So, you can still make better choices within where you are. But the sad part about it all is that the takeover, because we got about 5 dominant grocery stores. And so that's big business.
Right.
And they're making decisions way past our bedtime
Right. Well,
where they want to locate.
Well, monopolies are everywhere, even in the grocery stores. There's a monopoly of the Rayleighs and the Safeways and the Sprouts and the Whole Foods, and the Amazon is now with Whole Foods, even though people want to call it healthy food. Some of that stuff ain't cool, even in Whole Foods. You
Right.
have to really do your research when you're picking out your food choices.
That's right. So Ms. Tabler said, "Who's the guest?" This is my daughter Tay. And I think
Ain't
she
she
is about to
pretty?
join us. She's going to be a
Ain't she
permanent
pretty?
fixture, I think, because we need some young people's perspective. She's traveling. She's out here
Yes,
in
she
these
is.
streets.
She's out here.
So we're looking for her to give some reports on what's really going on.
Some of your
out here.
outside behavior.
Yes.
We're going to even bring Dayton to the table again because
Uh-oh.
it's 3 single women sitting
Ooh,
here.
Lord.
Anybody want to call in? We could talk. 702-551-5261. Come on with it. So on the
my
serious
goodness.
side, some 13 different types of cancers are related to obesity. We're talking breast, lung, colorectal, and prostate cancers are related to obesity, and together account for 40% of all cancers in the United States. 40%. Those are the cancers that breast, lung, colorectal, and prostate cancers. More than 13 different types of cancers related to obesity, and together account for 40% of all cancers in the U.S. I say it again. That's 3,038 counties were studied, represent 96.7% of the United States. So that's pretty much that's pretty much the U.S., right?
Right.
Highest rates of obesity related to cancer deaths had a greater fraction of older people, black people, low-income families, and higher rates of diabetes and obesity. Yeah, I take a pause. Because if we really want to try to attack cancer as best as we can't wait on research. They've been researching cancer
Right.
for a long
Right.
time. Lots of dollars have been put in people's pockets to make this thing happen. To try to
Man.
find remedies.
Well,
and
Well,
pretty
there's a
much-
black woman I've seen on TikTok that found a cure, but they suppress her information like it's going out of business. Like she would put the pharmaceutical industry out of business with the research she has done.
I think I did see her talk about cancer cells.
Yeah, because she's like, if you could put a laser in space that can narrow down
feeling
something,
some,
the echo.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
hope
hear.
that's not going out to the people.
Yeah, I hear an echo
Yeah, I
too.
do too.
Okay, but anyway, I'm sorry.
Meanwhile, I ain't even got no water. I'm sipping on something else.
we can get you some water. So, diet clearly is a modifiable risk factor that people can improve to reduce their risk of cancer. And so that at the end of the day, it's called choose wisely.
Thank you.
You hear what I'm saying? Like, I want to say it one more time. Diet is a modifiable risk factor that people can improve to reduce their risk of cancer. Choose wisely.
I agree. I absolutely agree.
And here's the thing, where people live and work shapes their health. in very serious ways because they may not have a choice. So where you live and where you work, you may not have healthy choices. Even when you work and you got to go get something to eat, you got an hour, which I can't stand the way this whole structure has been set up. You got 1 hour, maybe 30 minutes to
30
go run out
minutes,
and find something.
30 minutes to an hour.
And if you're in a building, all the fast food restaurants, they know that. They are part of construction. They're part of knowing what's in the community. Hell, it's part of making your business plan, is knowing what the community looks like and how you serve the community needs. Right? So, so while causes of obesity, let me say this, and cancer are complex. So they're influenced more than just diet. So I don't want anybody to just think you can go out and go change your diet and that might, I believe it'll change your life, but there are other factors involved in cancer cells. But food inequities have health implications far and wide. And the studies, I believe, are true. That the structural factors such as community disinvestment and systematic racism is the problem. Now, what's the solution? Right? So the solution is making food access equitable, providing more healthy food stores, creating more walkable gardens where you can get to a garden so people without cars can get to the markets. That's the solution.
There's a few others too.
And there's
Teach
a few
gardening.
Talk about it.
I mean, that should be a part of the curriculum with our students in 2023. Home economics.
Gardening,
I mean, I used to learn how to cook, sew, and all that stuff when I was in elementary
That's
school.
too bad. I had a cooking class.
You had a cooking, right? Exactly. So
I think that was probably my love for food.
That's where that was born, right? Might be where it was born. And that's all the stuff they are so quick to take away from our students and our children.
Because those are life skills.
Those are life skills. Right, exactly. So
yeah, they want you dependent. So indoor gardens, so anyway, I cannot stress enough. So Mickey says the ingredients that they put in these contaminated vaccines has caused a high rate of onset of cancer and other autoimmune disease. That's what they are putting in the foods.
I agree with that.
When you're reading these long nutritional, what's in the foods, and it's 30 items long, we know it's a bunch of stuff.
Mixed with dyes and preservatives.
Absolutely.
Natural flavors. And if you don't read on what those things are, you'll just be assuming and eating.
Because they say if it's over 6 ingredients in something you're buying, you probably should put it back on the shelf and keep it pushing. If there's over 6 things on the back of that label. Because I've seen it. Even from my experience this week, or earlier last week, I was a little sick, but I knew because of all the stuff that we talk about that I needed to eat clean in order to get better and to get well soon. So I had to make sure I wasn't eating processed foods. I wasn't eating those quick fixes, cutting out sugar, carbs.
Ooh, easier said than done.
It is now.
The struggle was real because I found myself on the couch like, oh my God, I want some cake so bad. Just give me a cookie or some pie or something. But I knew if I wanted to get better quick, I just had to, suppress.
We should have brought you some things from the farmer's market.
Yeah, because we're going to definitely talk about that farmer's market. But it's funny that you say that because it ties right into the next thing, which is sick, S-I-C-K, restaurant. Sick restaurant workers are linked to 40% of food illnesses. Listen, the numbers are huge. Because why? Let's think about it. Why are sick restaurant workers linked to 40% of food illnesses and outbreaks? The most common one, the norovirus, which is what people think when they got stomach flu, or maybe they've eaten at a spot and then they went and ate another time and your body starts to process and they just think they have an upset stomach. But truly they were exposed to the norovirus, which is terrible because it's usually feces and it's the
right?
Yes, people going to the bathroom, not washing their hands.
I call that food poisoning every time.
Every time. Well, my body knows it every time.
Yeah.
Everybody might not be able to recognize it right away.
Yeah.
Because maybe they ate at their favorite spot and they thought, it couldn't have been my favorite spot. Well,
Right.
yes, it is. Because 40%, the contributing factor
That's really
is
high.
lack
That
of
is high, right?
And right now, the contributing factor is the lack of comprehensive policies. And comprehensive policies that allow for our restaurant workers to take sick leave.
The cycle is real out here in these
Yeah.
streets, man. The cycle is so real. I can't even wrap my head around it.
Yeah, it's getting real messy.
Yeah, it
It's getting
is.
real messy. And so salmonella is the next one. These are all invisible dangers. They're invisible. You can't see them. But some workers are going to work sick because they lack policies in the workplace that require workers to report their symptoms
Right.
and then let them go home with pay.
Right.
Yeah.
Because that's their concern. They, they
money.
don't want to miss
Paid.
the day. Who wants to-
Yeah.
I don't even want to go to the doctor because I don't even have health benefits. Right? That type of shit.
It's a lot of people out there like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember operating like that at some point in my life where I was like, I'm sick as a dog, but I still got to crawl my ass into work because if I ain't got no PTO, I can't afford to take a day off
Right.
and not get paid.
And quite frankly, if I take off 2 or 3 days in a row, that's 4 dings. I'm about to lose my job.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
Lord forbid you get sick on a Monday.
Right.
So these restaurants got to get it together. You know what I'm saying? Call in. Anybody call in if you want to chime in. 702-551-5261. You are live with Jnine
And Jezzi.
and now.
Hey.
Hello. So the only way to protect yourself from viruses and bacteria is to prepare food at home.
Mm.
And even that's more expensive now. Look.
And that's
Right.
what Mom just said.
She said eating healthy quality of food
Let's
is
be clear.
expensive.
It's
Yep.
expensive. And so the only other thing is consider the restaurant's reputation before you dine there. That's why we're
I agree.
here. You heard?
Exactly.
Because we calling them out. If we know about it, we going to call it out and we're going to let you know that this is a place you don't want to dine at. This is a place we dined out. This is the experience we had. So if you want to go back and look at some of our
Yep.
videos, go all the way back. We 1 year in this thing. Just go to Hot 702.5 FM. Go to any one of our pages and scroll through Jay Roberts, and you'll see we've been talking about this consistently because we really
Yes.
want us to get it together.
Right.
So consumers need to be aware of companies with repeated violations or are tied to outbreaks, that nausea, vomiting, diarrhea stuff. That's that norovirus. If you have it, that's what that is. But and consumers need to speak up. So if you know that you experienced, if I see somebody handling my food at this stage in the game, I'm speaking up and I'm also not eating there. So you're going to get a double dosage from me.
Okay.
If I see you handling my food without gloves or changing the gloves or grabbing the money,
Right.
all of these things, or wiping your nose, or you got some stuff going on, I'm calling it out.
Or flinging your hair. That is such a
Talking
I can't
over the
stand
food,
it.
all
Yeah,
kinds of-
Stop talking
I
over
hate
my
talking-
food.
People that talk over food. When you go to those, especially those restaurants where they make your food on the other side of the glass, they have to talk to you though. Sometimes and ask you what you want on your bowl or whatever the case may be. I'm like, why mask ain't mandatory
And I feel like they're
for
mandatory
y'all
at
to
the
make?
hospitals,
So why wouldn't it be mandatory for our food?
Should be mandatory.
Yeah.
too.
Right.
And I can't stand when servers come out, they got a big tray of food, and they like, is it chicken? They're trying to figure out where the food go. Stop talking over the
And then
food.
you didn't walk past a few
Right.
tables trying to figure it out.
that
I don't
part.
want that no more.
I cannot stand to watch a waiter walk through a restaurant trying to figure out where he's supposed to deliver the food.
Yep.
And he done walked all the way around the restaurant till he found somebody.
Yep.
And then might have went to 3 wrong tables.
It's horrible.
With your food.
Right.
Oh,
Or place
my
it down.
God.
If you put my food
Yeah,
on
when you-
another table, take it back.
Right.
Don't even bring it to me talking about we didn't touch it. I don't care what you did.
I
You didn't
know.
hit my table.
Absolutely.
So,
right.
Mickey said it's no longer mandatory in any of the hospitals.
Oh, wow.
She also said the solution to the problem is we need to start growing our own fruits and vegetables and leave the meats alone. We just talked
Yeah, we
about
just
that on our
talked
way
about
in here.
that.
The
Yes.
craziest thing is that they are generating meat in the laboratories, honey, right there in the city we are born and raised in. And we are putting this stuff in our bodies, right? A whole laboratory is
Right.
in Emeryville manufacturing chicken that is already making it to our tables. You can't tell
Show
me
is.
it's not.
It's not. I can taste it. It tastes different.
It took one
I know it
report
do.
And you didn't hear about it again when they talked about how they were starting to manufacture salmon.
Right.
I saw one report. And what the report said is they are not mandatory to tell us that they are mixing and breeding behind the scenes and bringing it to the table.
And how is that not mandatory?
You know, it's funny because I remember when I used to live in Sacramento and it was on the voting block to disclose if food was GMO, genetically modified. And they said we voted against it. I said, how do people really vote against wanting to know if their food is fake or not?
They just want to eat it and enjoy it, I guess.
I
But
thought
that
it was
doesn't
a
make
lie.
sense.
I don't believe it.
No.
I believe that they like, you know, we supposedly vote for people in office. I believe it was forged.
Like they tell us in some of these companies, we have a democratic system, but it's only to an extent.
Right,
so
exactly.
your contribution is welcome, but we're going to make the decision once we get behind the closed door. And I believe that's what's happening because I don't believe that there are more of us who don't want to know than the ones who want to know. I don't believe that.
I don't either. It's
Either
just
that or
no
they
way.
just didn't, they didn't care about it on the ballot because unless you read some of these things, some people are only voting for the people they're putting. They're not voting for the policies themselves. They're just because they don't know what they sound like. They sound big and too much.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
and then they hide language in some of
And
those
that's the
policies
hidden language.
as well. They hide language in there that you didn't know. Like my mom said, these people out here voting for higher taxes, damn it. How did you not see that? How did you not read?
Right.
So
yeah. So I want to talk real quick about flavonoids or flavanols. I call them flavanols. They're basically a large group of more than 6,000 protective plants that have compounds that's found in fruits and veggies and plant foods. And what it does is these flavanols, the benefit is to cognitive health. So it increases the growth of neurons, which 2-3 shows ago, if y'all go back, we talked about the effect of neurons and blood vessels in the hippocampus region of the brain that is involved in learning and memory. So neurons are those specialized cells in the brain and the nervous system that communicate. They transmit all the information. These are the things they're trying to duplicate in AI. Our body's neurons and blood vessels and how it communicates with the rest of the body.
Right.
And so flavonoids help to improve that cardiometabolic health. So I went and looked at some of the things that have flavonols. So, Mom, when we say sometimes it is not cheap, but it's reasonable to eat healthy when you know what the health benefits are in some of the foods. Apples, apricots, strawberries, peaches, plums, cocoa powder, dark chocolate, tea, pecans, pistachios, and cinnamon are high in flavonols.
Yes.
Good stuff.
Good stuff. Stuff
Right?
I
You
can
ain't gotta
appreciate.
go throw a peel back for them.
Right.
You can actually get them in your fruits and vegetables. And so it helps with the high blood pressure, cholesterol, those triglycerides, and glucose levels, which is that diabetes stuff we talking about. So listen how easy this is. An 8-ounce cup of green tea is 332 flavonols. And you need 500 a day. Or it's good if you can get 500 a day. 500 milligrams per day. So same thing with a black tea, 273 milligrams.
Okay.
500 milligrams daily is what you could use. So if you did a medium red delicious apple, that's 271 milligrams of flavonols. And when they say an apple a day keeps the doctor away, that's what
I
they
agree.
saying.
I was eating apples and oranges and bananas and watermelon. I mean, I was really like going in on my clean eating while I was trying to get better. And I was like, these apples is good. I didn't even remember the last time I ate an apple.
I was like, God damn, that's good.
Right.
That boy good.
Right.
Right. Okay, so 1 cup of sliced strawberries, 236 milligrams. 2 plums, a medium peach, 104. A cup of pistachios, 237. 1 tablespoon of unsweet cocoa powder is 75 milligrams. So we're trying to heart, body, and soul, which means your mind as well.
Yes.
And here's how we can help some of our cognitive health, because you know, when you start, especially when you start getting older and you start forgetting things, and you know that little dementia starts kicking in, you want to eat some fruits and veggies.
Yes,
Okay,
you do.
You really do. So
That
eating-
must be my mom and your mom's secret weapon.
Flavonoids.
Yeah.
and they didn't have a name for it, but they knew they were getting boosts.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, because our moms don't have
Any
dementia
cognitive
or those
issues.
They're
cognitive
amazing
declines.
at their ages.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, they may think a little slower, but I think that's just the natural aging
I wanna
process.
think slower. Shit, this brain fog ain't cool, and all this shit going on in my head. I'd like to slow it down,
Right.
absolutely. So I
Right.
get it. You know what I'm saying? Yes.
But you know they're not demented. They don't have Alzheimer's,
Yes.
and I'm like, thank you, Lord.
And so that becomes
Yep.
part of the DNA. The
Yes.
same way that we start saying, you know, it's in the genes to be an
Yes.
alcoholic. Well,
Yes.
that stopped with me, or that stopped with my mother, or that stopped with, and then you change that, and then you start making these bionic kids, you know, because you know, decided to start eating better, and then they eat better, and then their kids eat better, and then now, you know, we deep rooted in this thing. 30, 40 years later, people are healthier.
I have a question for you because you got the babies and the baby and your daughters. Did you ever notice that when you fed them different types of food,
Behavior.
their behavior was different?
I see it in Kai.
I don't
You do?
know if I've noticed that, especially with their age gap. You know, I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, but they weren't fast food babies either, so
Okay.
maybe
No.
they were consistent in behavior.
Right.
I think
Yeah, I
those-
think so as well. Yeah, I would say that.
But I
consistent
see it in
behavior.
Kai.
You do? Okay.
If Whitney, which is my baby girl, if she allows him to eat the chips and all of the stuff he wants to eat when he comes home, he's off the chain. Off the chain. Attitude all over the place, slamming stuff, moving, jumping. And I mean, that's young people energy.
Right.
But when I make him some, because he prefers veggies, when I saute him some zucchini or some peppers and he eats that stuff with some rice on the side, he's like, "Can I have my tablet, please?"
But it makes sense.
Mimi, I love you.
Yeah, it makes a whole
Right.
lot of sense.
It does.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
imagine if it's tied to behavior, what it's tied to as adults.
Exactly.
Because we may not be acting out, it's retaining all this bad stuff until
Yes.
it comes out.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Interesting.
pretty bad. So, you know, there was one other thing that I was going to talk about with these huge grocery store chains and these dollar stores limited to the rural and urban communities and their access to food. They're bankrupting farmers. Because we went to the farmers market this weekend that I want to talk about, having access to healthy food. They're bankrupting the farmers that produce the food. It's Walmart, it's Amazon, and it's Kroger. Kroger is taking over Albertsons, and so they have a huge amount of the nation's grocery business. Walmart captures $1 out of every $4 that American spends on groceries.
Wow.
$1 out of every $4 that Americans spend on groceries,
That's
Walmart
a
captures
lot.
that. Okay.
That's a lot of money. Self-checkout. Anyway.
And so they're bankrupting the farmers because
Anyway,
beep beep.
they getting smart about that too. They sending bills. They sending. They not
Sending
playing
the
with people no more.
They knocking on your door when you scan it. Let me tell you something. When I was in Sacramento, so I met whole backdrop story, but I met this couple that specialized in. They would barbecue, 2 or 3 times a week or 2 or 3 times a month. And they would go to the store and they would buy the generic soda cartons. That would be the scan, but they would have pounds of meat. Pounds of meat, honey. And then they would come back to the community and sell it. Because it was a whole hustle. They didn't know what they was doing when they put them automated systems together. They just now catching that shit.
They just now catching on.
Some folks have come up a lifetime
Right.
on that self-check. You better quit playing. small things and coming out with everything you want. But anyway, that's a whole nother conversation.
It from me.
But yeah, so the fact that we were able to access the farmers market this weekend. So let's talk about that a little bit.
I sure wish I could have
Farmers
joined
market.
you, ladies.
Oh my gosh, I love it. It's like every Saturday, I think between like 9 and 2 in Summerlin, and then they also are in Henderson at another. They have. I'm getting distracted by the message.
Me too, because Mickey said that's another topic.
Right? Right?
Man, it was really. I love it up there. It's probably my third time, but all the fresh fruits and vegetables. I got some tangerines. Oh my gosh, I ate 2 today because they're so sweet. I got some lychee. So you find things that you don't normally find. Because you know, lychee, if you don't know, you usually get it at like the boba spots. You can request it like lychee jelly, but this was the actual fruit, so it's like a.
Oh.
It's kind of
Girl,
like
I've never
a dragon.
seen it before.
What is that? Like the outer hard shell, but on the inside it's white, and on the inside of that is the seed. And it's really sweet, very
really
sweet
sweet.
fruit.
Oh,
So I actually took a
nice.
few apart, put them in my tea. Oh, it's so good. So we got fruits. You get the fruit water.
I tried to do a video because I did a lot of footage. I tried to do a video
You
so we could send it to the radio station so we could play it. But I haven't found the right app that captures videos and then upload it to YouTube and then send it in like an MP3 kind of thing.
But on top of that, it was like 6 black vendors out of maybe the 20
Okay.
plus that were there. So we went to those. It was next time I'll capture the names. It was a kettle corn or a popcorn lady. There was a lady selling kind of like the old tea cookies. What she called Nacho Mama's cookie or something like that.
Your mama's homemade cookies or something. Yeah.
Some people there. There was so many different things. It was so we left out with a whole gang of fruits and vegetables and body creams and oils and.
It was phenomenal.
Y'all find any eggs?
Yes.
They did have eggs.
I didn't get any this
You
time.
didn't get any, okay.
But because we weren't coming straight home and I didn't want them sitting.
Okay.
Bad enough the strawberries had kind of got ruined because it's so hot. So you really have to take your stuff home and get it in the refrigerator, get it cleaned in the refrigerator, and get it frozen maybe.
Okay.
So we didn't want the eggs to go bad. But so we're talking about the Summerlin right here, Las Vegas. Hello. The Summerlin Farmers Market. And there's several farmers markets, but this is our preference. It's in Summerlin downtown, and they've got a little area for the kids to play. But one thing really stood out, not just the fruits and vegetables and how big they are and how pretty they are and how fresh they are, but what really stood out and had me tripped out was there was this couple, looked like they were straight out of Berkeley.
Okay.
Right? I love them kind of sun people.
Right.
They had this elixir.
I've been taking it every day.
Really?
Almost forgot about it.
Okay. So they had this elixir, and they had people taking shots of it.
Okay.
And they gave you like a forewarning and let you know that you can use it as substitute for alcohol. So if you were an alcoholic maybe, or you just didn't want to take alcohol, it has some euphoric properties to it.
I think it's
Honey.
Kava.
Kava. Yeah, I've heard of Kava for
elixirs.
sure.
Honey, we did our shot. I was like, Ma, you want some? She was like, no, I don't want to feel high. I was like, oh, well, I do, baby.
Well, you know we do. We gets down
Give
like
me yours.
Give me yours. So we took a shot, and they warned us and told us that it was going to make our tongue a little numb. And then you wash it down with the flavors. So they got the different flavors.
Okay.
I think we got to try all 3 of the flavors, right? One of them was
Ginger, which is what we
Ooh,
took
I love
home.
ginger.
I should have bought it tonight for us to experiment with.
I love ginger.
Maybe it has a mushroom property.
That
Maybe.
Because I felt like, ooh, I mean, it was just really, really nice. But the interesting thing about it is everybody who's out there has to be health board certified. Like
right.
So you know what they're doing and providing is natural.
Right.
Right? So, yeah, we got to go back and
I'm
check
going
that.
to have to pull up.
Because they
I'm
have
about to pull up
there's a
next
whole open
weekend.
area that has the fruits and vegetables. So you just go and grab all that look like they come from, the gardens of.
You've been to that
I've been
Summerlin,
there.
yeah.
Me and my mom went when she was out
thought so,
here. We
yeah.
went to the Summerlin one, but I don't remember the Kava people. Maybe we walked right past
I
them.
don't remember
but I'm
them
gonna
either.
Go look them
I
up.
think they might be
They
new
might
up
be
there.
new.
Okay.
Yeah.
But,
Okay.
notice we highlight the stuff that, makes you feel real good. But we did. We brought home blueberries and strawberries
I love
and plums.
it.
And,
I love it.
cookies and the popcorn, and yes, the black
drinks
vendors. I highlight the black vendors because they out there doing their thing.
Okay.
That popcorn was and it
Very
was
nice.
good.
Yeah, it was good.
It was good.
It was phenomenal popcorn. So it was just
Oh,
lovely.
and then I got the
frankincense or something like
the
that.
potato. No, what was it? The sweet potato pie.
Oh,
So they had
Yes.
like a whole bunch of desserts.
had
and
desserts. Yep. Body
Nice.
There's a lot
oils.
of stuff out there.
So I'd like to
Nice.
encourage all the listeners, if you have a farmer's market in she said, send me some of that elixir. Baby, I will. Because I'm telling you, it was everything it needed to be. And it talked about how it helps to lower blood pressure or something like that because I guess
Okay.
it
Helps
calms
with
your
anxiety.
body. Anxiety.
And
Oh, okay. It
Yeah.
helped
it
reduce
gave me
anxiety.
a little too calm today because I've been putting it in like an actual shot glass and.
Oh, so this is a daily
took me a
routine
nap.
for you now?
Oh my gosh, she's been chug-a-lugging.
This has been a
Okay.
daily
Yeah,
go
it's been
to?
relaxing.
Okay.
I love
like
it.
it.
Okay, well, let me pull mine from the back of
Yeah.
the fridge and
Yes.
get busy.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
what
was
you
trying to
waiting
save it
on?
for special occasions so I can go stumbling in somewhere. Shoot, you know how I like to feel.
It don't make
I
you
like to
feel
get
like
in.
that.
Okay,
doesn't.
calm down,
It does.
young woman. Start drinking your elixir.
It does.
And they said it was okay for daily.
They said
use?
depending on what you're using it for. So if you are a heavy drinker, and you're trying to get off of drinking, you might want to
Okay.
take 2 shots or a little bit more. If it's just for like anxiety, use it as whatever the cause
That's what you
is.
feel
And,
you
yeah.
need it for,
Okay.
and then learn your body and how much of it works for the relaxation part and,
Okay.
and all that good stuff.
I guess it's
sounds
from
exciting.
Fiji and Hawaii.
That's
it's like a
the
tradition
deal.
of theirs.
Was it expensive?
No, it's $10 for the
Oh,
bottle.
that's not
Or
expensive.
they took $5 off for like 6 of them. 6
if you did a 6-pack.
containers. They're about that big.
Okay. All right.
And it's really nice because you know what? I do need to see. I need to experience Fiji, and I need to experience that ritual or whatever that was because she has you say the salu or whatever it is you say when
Yeah.
you do the toast.
Okay.
So that's what they do. And they drink it out of the same cup because there's something about the fellowship.
Okay.
There's something about the
Oh,
togetherness and
yes.
what that does. So, I mean, in Fiji already just sounds like I will never come back.
Paradise. No.
Yeah, right. So speaking of Fiji, let's do a quick little summation of some travel tips. People are traveling. It's wide open. We back. The
is.
streets is back. The
I'm about
I'm about
airlines
to
is
hop on
back.
a
We
plane
outside.
tomorrow.
You are?
Yep,
Me
going
too.
back to Cali though. So I'm just for the weekend. I'll be back on Monday.
So I'm gonna throw out a few travel tips for people, and then I know you guys are getting ready to hit the plane. So you're on your way where?
Houston.
When you leave?
Tomorrow morning
How long
Yeah.
you gonna be in Houston?
until Monday.
Girl, I'm trying to get back so bad.
Love it. I need it. It's time.
I love the fact that them black men love us black women out there. And I'm going to say it out loud.
So speaking of black men and dating and stuff, are we dating?
Who?
Because we were going to be talking about this little black app that we have,
Yeah,
that we
I
were
was-
told about, the black app, y'all.
I've been on it.
I was gonna mention
Black.
it because as soon as I
BLK.
touched down in Houston, the black app is up and on. Okay.
Wow.
Try Hinge too. But yeah, I've been
Oh, I
on
did.
Black.
I downloaded it yesterday.
I've been on
I
Black.
just cannot do, I can't do the dating stuff online. I don't want to swipe. I don't want my phone in my hand.
And you know what? It don't be nothing special because by the time I feel like by the time you got an IG, then they just want to watch it. Then I'm like,
Then
you
they
don't
go-
even
Yeah,
want.
they just following
They
me.
just follow-
I'm like,
yep.
what are you doing?
So that's all you want is just
to
to follow.
Yeah.
I watched something yesterday that, and this is kind of off topic, but they said that everyone's just in the pool. You're supposed to get in the pool of dating and then get out, but everybody just want to swim in the pool.
Yeah, they just want to wade in the water,
That's
Wade
what-
in
yeah.
the water.
right?
No, I'm
and don't
cool.
want to swim. Oh,
I just can't quite do it. Because
I
I hear
haven't
enough. Let me tell you why I get DMs. I get DMs because a bitch be posting cooking. So every time I post food, I be having these Negroes talking about when I get a plate, when I get to come through. I'm like, when you gonna pay for the groceries, number one. And number two, I'm a paid chef. I do private events and I'm paid. So
Talk that shit. Oh, stuff. Excuse me. Excuse my language. My apologies.
oh, so Mickey's heading to Jamaica on Wednesday.
We can
Oh,
trade
nice.
Let's talk real quick.
I
I
wanna
look like
go
I
with
should be
you.
going to Jamaica.
You really do. So
Right?
let's talk about the Liquids 311. We still doing 3.4 ounces.
That's my mama's
the
stomping
toothpaste, the shampoos. Somebody that's lied and said peanut butter isn't considered. It is considered a liquid.
It
It
is.
is.
Okay.
Yeah, so people saying that you can get away with peanut butter. I don't even know who wants to eat that shit on the plane anyway. Like you 100 miles up, you already drying up and swelling up. You want peanut butter in your mouth?
Yeah, what do you want peanut butter?
Be up there choking on peanut butter.
You need to have
Montego
clear
Bay.
plastic quartz size bags, and you only allow one per passenger. Otherwise, you need to check that shit. You need to
Okay.
check it, right? So I'm just trying to help you to move through the airport a little faster. The TSA pre-check,
Yes, I got
everybody
that.
get your TSA pre-check game on, or you're not flying with me. If we going local,
I got it.
if we going around the corner, I don't mind walking through that shit. But as a flight attendant, I never had to do any of that, so I don't want to start now. Do your TSA pre-check to get through security faster.
And it's
Well, how
good
you
for
do
5
that?
years.
You
so
are a trusted traveler. Talk about it.
Yep.
What
So
do you
there's a
do?
destination that, well, you start it online. You fill out the information, and they tell you where to set up your appointment within your area.
Okay.
Went to my appointment. It's just a few minutes of getting your ID. You take your picture. You do your fingerprints on a few different fingers. And
Okay.
Then, and within like a day or two, I had an email about my TSA pre-check number. It's good for
That's
like
right.
5 years.
That's
it's only
right.
$70.
Okay.
Oh, it's worth it. So I
It's
got my
worth
little
it.
pre-check on my
Oh, nice.
on my boarding pass. I'm gonna
Yes.
just walk
Oh,
stroll on through.
good.
That's right. So get your pre-check game on, or you're not traveling with us.
I got to
You need
do
to
that.
expedite through them lanes at the
Yes.
U.S. airports and when you crossing international
that.
borders, right? So TSA pre-check, and then you've got global entry, you've got Nexus, you've got all these different things
Clear.
depending on where you're going. Clear is the new and up and popping. You know, they went tanked and then they came back and came real strong.
Right.
They're doing the biometrics. So you don't have to remove your shoes. You ain't got to remove your belts. You got the 311 liquid.
And I get stopped every time because of my surgery, and I have to get. I say, I don't, you fine
So-
checking here? Yep. Now TSA, you just walk on through pre-check. So
Hello. So
Okay.
you got all them, you know, if you got some metal in your body because you done fooled around and got shot a time or two, walk on through. You don't have to remove your laptops, and then you don't have to remove your light jacket. So get your TSA pre-check on.
Okay.
it's
You
worth
apply
it.
online, schedule
Thank
your
you for that
appointment at
heads up.
any 500 enrollment centers.
Yeah, that's the
$78.
second time
And
I've
if you're
heard that
traveling,
today.
you might as well. It's
It's-
just
yeah.
it's so worth it.
Yeah, it's
Absolutely.
the second time I've heard that today, so thank you.
Yep. And so in person, you can do the fingerprinting for the background. And then the pre-check, there's a lot of pre-check benefits. You can sometimes get, it's more than 200 airports and 85 airlines. With the pre-check, the wait is less than 5 minutes is what they're trying to guarantee.
Oh,
And then,
Yeah.
so now they're doing the biometrics. So at boarding or at arrival, they're taking photos of you. I believe there's a conspiracy behind that, but that's another topic. But it is establishing the purpose of travel and determining admissibility, whether you should go in and out of the country or should you be flying. And they basically said they have so far caught about 1,600 imposters entering into the U.S. by facial recognition. So there's flexibility. You need to have flexibility when you're traveling. You need to be able to save on airfare. So flexibility is key. Your lodging, your car rentals, that kind of stuff. Traveling on a Wednesday versus a Sunday, you might save 15%. Check Google Flights. Check your credit cards. See what credit cards. Your credit cards have a lot of offerings sometimes
Yeah,
for
that's
travel,
true.
right?
Yeah, that's
You can
very
even go
true.
up to the airport. It's a little out the way, but you'll save pretty much on like the taxes with like Frontier or some of those airlines.
Right. Show up.
Okay.
Your logistics is important. If you can stay with friends and family, stay outside of the city instead of the the business districts. Book your lodging with kitchens because sometimes you might want to cook. Depending on what kind of vacation you have, you might just want to make, not cook because you're on vacation.
Right.
I ain't with that.
Right.
But I am with maybe if you had an option for a kitchenette and maybe you can make a few things of your own, some breakfast foods. Because what I do like is when you do eat in your hotel room, if you have those types of suites and accommodations, then you get out and you hit the streets and you're good.
Right.
Right.
You go
looking for
drinking.
some-
Yeah.
Right,
You're looking for-
exactly.
You can take full advantage. So look for your travel free with your credit cards, the rewards, bonuses, double miles, the complimentary lounge visits, and pay your credit card when you get back. Okay, so if you're booking
Oh,
your
Lord,
trip
here
on
she
your
go.
credit card, pay that bitch in full when you come back. Pay it in full. Keep it together.
That sounds good.
So we have reached the ends of the
Ooh-wee.
show.
That went
how
don't forget,
fast?
listen, and don't forget to
Quickly
bring your
time
portable
flies.
chargers when you're flying, okay? So anyway,
Fast. Time flies.
make a copy of your passport. Always have a copy of your
Oh,
passport.
well, thank you for
Yes.
that.
Yeah,
Right.
that's a good reminder.
So we out of here. Thank you guys
Yes.
for joining. Mickey is heading to Eden Ocean Resort. God
Oh,
bless you. Everybody
Yes.
traveling, God bless you.
Enjoy
Travel
your
emergencies.
travel. Enjoy your travel.
Thank
Everybody
you, too.
enjoy your travel.
Everybody.
And join us
Absolutely.
back here at Hot 702.5 FM. Get it together with Jnine
And Jezzi.
And Tay.
and now Tay. We love y'all.
Love and light.
Good night.